What is up, trading family? So this is going to be a breakdown on the RBA decision that we just had yesterday for the AUD currency. Okay, so this is why we focus on rate decisions. It can help you with the direction of the currency. So the central bank, the RBA, right? So they can determine either they want to make their currency stronger or if they want to make the currency weaker. So this is why we focus on this tremendously. This is why fundamentals is extremely important, because us as retail traders, we cannot move the markets, but they can. So as long as we could be up to date with fundamentals, we know what direction they're trying to go. It would make our trading a lot more easier throughout our trading journey. Fundamentals, rate decisions, all of this stuff is so important just so that we could get a direction that the big players are getting into. Okay, so this is how we like to prep. So this is a little cheat sheet that we do with our private group to see what to expect. So if we get a 25 basis points or higher, we would expect AUD strength, right? So we have certain pairs that we want to look for expectations, like AUD JPY buys, AUD USD buys, or GBP AUD sells. But I personally took AUD Swiss because I was expecting buys from AUD from last week. Also, we had Swiss franc had negative inflation data. So that is central bank divergence. I would most likely go over that in another YouTube video. If y'all want that, leave me a comment below. Let me know what kind of videos y'all would like. All right. So speeding forward, we had a 10-minute alert. So at 12:30, this is what came out, that they raised rates by 25 basis points. So that increased the terminal rate to 4.10%. It was above that 3.85. So they was expecting for rates to be the same, right? So it was 50-50. So either way, if they would have left rates the same or would have hiked, I would have expected a big move for the AUD currency regardless. But the fact that they increased rates, that's a positive sign for the AUD currency. Then we go over the comments that they speak about after the rate decision. So they like to explain why they made that decision and forward guidance. Are they going to continue looking to increase rates? Are they going to continue to be hawkish on an aggressive currency? So what we have here is tightening of monetary policy. So that is a hawkish comment. We're gonna make a course for everybody that's gonna go over these fundamentals so you can understand the terminology. But tightening of monetary policy is a hawkish comment. Okay, inflation has peaked and is still at its high. That is hawkish. So the fact that inflation is still rising, that is giving the signal for the RBA to want to hike rates more because they want to fight inflation. That is the main reason why they're hiking rates, is to bring down inflation. So if inflation is still high, I could expect of a stronger AUD currency to fight inflation. Okay. So what else that they have here? That the wages, wage growth is still consistent with inflation target. Recent data upside risk to CPI has increased. So all of this was hawkish comments. This is why I was expecting buys for the AUD currency. And this, we obviously did the rate decision. We traded this live. So if you ever want to come inside Wall Street Grunts, you'll be able to watch the video, trade this live. We break everything down, and then we take the trades together in the direction. So now looking at all the AUD pairs, we can see when that data came out, this was the reaction that we got right away from that increase in rates. So AUD is extremely strong. So what is stopping it from continuing bullish is the secondary currency pair, right? So if we have New York session. So if we have a stronger US dollar, that's pretty much going to stop AUD USD from pushing higher, right? So this is where our technicals is going to have to align in. I want to see either we can hold a support at a certain area, and then once we can identify that we have a weaker dollar throughout the New York session and continuing, we're going to identify a support to be formed. And then once we can start breaking above structure, so above this resistance area of 66650, I would look for continuation buys to the upside. All right, but we're going to need confirms for a weaker dollar. But the trades that I'm currently in is AUD Swiss. I am liking the potential upside because we have broken above this structure on the 30-minute time frame. We've broken above resistance. AUD, I still expect strength. So this is looking like there's a possibility we could range in this area. But what I don't want to see is this entire move from the rate decision gets recovered. Because if this move get recovered, then it's showing me that the markets is not buying up the AUD currency. So there's probably something else going on in the markets. That's something I don't want to see. But as long as we can maintain the support and we can look for more continuations to the upside, I will be fine for leaving this trade, to leave it as a swing trade for continuations. All right. Another opportunity could be with AUD JPY. If we continue to get a weaker JPY currency, because the Bank of Japan is very dovish, but the possibility of a pullback can happen with JPY pairs, because last week the Bank of Japan was upset, not say like upset, but they was more worried about the yen getting too weak. And that's when they start doing market intervention. That's market manipulation, right? So if they continue to have those talks, then we could possibly see pullbacks in all JPY pairs. But I would just be cautious with this AUD JPY because of the yen. But once we can start breaking above 93.0, we will be looking for continuations to the upside, or I want to see us hold that support of 92.600. Okay, but at least we know why AUD is strong. AUD is strong because of the rate decision. And as long as we see inflation is staying higher, or if inflation is still rising, if we see that job data, that people is not losing their jobs, people are still working, people are still paying for goods, that's going to add towards inflation. So if that continues to happen, then the RBA has to be aggressive with raising rates in order to fight that. So that could give us more of a stronger AUD currency. But what we would look for to close the trade and possibly look for sells for AUD is if we see the labor markets, they would say the labor markets is easing. So if they say like labor markets, people, jobs, unemployment is rising, then that's a signal for a weaker AUD currency. If we see that inflation is dropping, or if inflation remains the same, then that's going to be a sign of inflation is peaking. And then that's not going to give the RBA any reasons to want to hike rates more aggressively. Okay, so those are what we would look for. If we see inflation still rise, this trade can turn to possible swing trade opportunities. So you could probably be holding it for days or so. But if we start seeing the opposite, then most likely just take those scalps, get out the markets, and possibly look for some downside. Hopefully this helps. If y'all want any more tips, give me a comment below, message me privately, or hit me up on Instagram. I would love to help you throughout your trading journey.